Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Blind Chick. That's Moses Street.
And that is Penn Street. The Blind Chick. And we've got so much exciting stuff to talk about. We've got some great guests.
I know.
And
it's a first. It's a first for us.
I know, and amazingly, we're really similar.
I know. We're a couple, as you all know, and or if you don't know by now,
four of us.
We're a couple, and
Penn's a couple. I'm a.
We want to talk too.
Huh? What?
Oh. We want to talk too.
Oh, wait, what? We got a guest?
We've heard enough. Quiet now.
Okay, I'll let somebody else talk.
Shawn and Mindy, welcome to The Blind Chick.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, where are you guys joining us from today?
The wonderful state of Texas and North Texas and Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
Wait.
Most people hear the Stockyards or Billy Bob's or we're about 30 minutes from the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Oh,
wow.
Fun.
Wow.
Does that mean you're a fan?
I'm
Yes.
not.
Did you say yes, Mindy?
Yes.
Yeah, so we know you're watching football every weekend.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't like to announce that we're Cowboys fans because they put us to shame sometimes.
Well, the Broncos do that too. Oh,
Yes.
And our illustrious baseball team. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Y'all have a baseball team?
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Not since season one.
Yeah. They had this killer season, and then it's all been downhill.
It's all downhill.
Yeah.
They aim too high too early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Mindy and Shawn, it was so awesome to meet you guys in what was that, November? At the 2025 Blind Travel Summit in Austin, and we put out sort of a call to see who wanted to be on our live recording of The Blind Chick there on the stage in Austin. And Shawn, you actually were one of the people that raised your hand. And what
That was so fun.
or did Mindy make you raise your hand? But
A little bit of both.
a little bit of both. But it was awesome interviewing you, and even before that day that we did the interviews, I knew I wanted to get all of you back on to tell your to tell more of your story, because it was just such a short time we had together. But I have to say, when you came up to me literally as we are walking towards the stage, and you said, "Penn, I don't want to talk about what I told you I was going to talk about. I want to talk about my wife, because Mindy and I really like traveling together." And I was like, you didn't see my face, of course, but it's probably because you have a podcast,
Yeah.
Shawn. And so I was just like, what?
Yeah. You should have heard her jaw hit the table, though.
Yeah. But I was just like, let it go. Let him do it. And because it was you and you had a podcast, I was like, just trust him, go with the flow. And it was awesome. And it was so sweet what you shared about Mindy and your travels. And so then it was so great when you're like, I want Mindy to come on. I was like, yes. So this is really fun for Moses and I to have you both on and willing to share your story, because unlike Moses and I'm the blind one and he's the sighted one. Both of you are blind, but your stories are very different. You came from different places.
Yes.
You sort of approached vision loss at different ages. Can you guys, you guys can take turns, but can you guys share a little bit about what that was, growing up, and how you embraced your vision loss? Because I know it was very different for both of you.
And then I've got to do the oldest, worst joke in the world. You guys did a lot of blind dating.
Wah.
Jonathan could cut that if he...
Yeah.
Shawn did.
Yeah, yeah. You can definitely say that. And my favorite blind joke of all time is this one. Anytime anybody asks you if you've been blind all your life,
Oh,
you can say not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
But I was born with glaucoma in 1974 in Arlington, Texas, and I grew up with a tiny amount of vision. It was just enough to get in trouble, and
yeah.
I could I could see like basically the grass and the sidewalk, and I could tell that you had a face, but not what color eyes you had or anything else.
Right.
And so I was introduced to blindness early on. I learned Braille in first grade, and I learned how to use a cane in second grade, and all of that. So blindness wasn't new to me. Um, I technically, I guess you could say I grew up as a blind
Yeah.
person. I went to school. I went to, and then when I was like 18 or 19 is when I lost all of my vision. But it was so gradual, and I had such a small amount in the first place that it really wasn't that big of a
Mm.
deal. Um, but in Mindy's case, that's different. That's in most people's case that lose their vision later on in life. That's different.
Yeah.
There's a whole different process for that. And let her talk about her
Sure.
story.
Yeah, Mindy. So were you born with sight then? I'm guessing.
Yes, I was born with sight. I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa when I was 12.
Okay.
But I still had my vision. There was really nothing that was stopping me from being a crazy 12-year-old. The only thing for me then was like being able to see far away.
Mhm.
And so when I was 17 years old, I was pregnant. I was 3 months pregnant, and I just woke up one day and it was gone.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it was gone. So the doctors later on told me that the baby took all the nutrients and vitamins from my body, and that's why it just happened so sudden.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was rough. It was rough.
Well, yeah, because you have to adjust to the sudden vision loss, but then you also
Yes.
have to adjust to being a new mom.
Being a mom.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes. It was rough. I mean, after giving birth, I was, I guess, going through all the emotions of, the postpartum and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
I was suicidal. Like, I was suicidal because it was so rough. It
Yeah.
was so rough just sitting there thinking, like, how am I going to provide for this baby?
Yeah.
And, my son's dad, he was not really in the picture. And I have my family and they're very supportive, but it's still not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So it was very scary. And then, that was 19 years ago because my son is 19 now.
Okay.
And so my vision from then, it just has gotten a lot worse. And so I just pretty much have light perception right now.
Okay. And then, so how did you get hooked up with services right away? Like learning how to use like those things Shawn learned in, kindergarten, first, second grade.
This is the wild part here.
This is our love story.
Hold on, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had no idea there was life after blindness.
Oh.
Like nobody educated me, no doctor guided me into the right direction of what to do, where to go. So I just literally sat there and thought, this is my life.
Wow.
Just sitting in a room with four walls and,
Oh.
And so that was my life for about probably 10 years.
Mindy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that can
And-
happen. That can definitely happen.
Oh, yes. We have actually heard that it's pretty common. Like a lot of people don't know that there's resources out there, which is so sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very, very sad. And so then finally one day, I still lived independent and everything. My son had a tablet and he came up to me one day and he was like, how do you do this on the tablet? I was like, I have no idea. I just had no idea how to even work it, what to do with it.
Right.
So back then, I'm embarrassed to say that I still had a home phone because I did not know about voiceover,
You
talkback,
mean
or
you had
none
a
of that.
landline like that plugged in the wall?
Yes.
Whoa. Kidding,
Yes.
I'm kidding. I know what those are.
No.
Yeah.
And so I remember even, I think it was, the number was 411 or 211. I
Yeah.
remember yeah. So I started calling and I said, can you provide a number to resources for the blind, like with the tablet? And they connected me to one of the nonprofits. And so I called, and Mr. King was working there.
Are you serious?
Yes. He was the technology instructor.
Wow.
And so I called and I was asking him questions, and he's like, yeah, there's a talkback feature. There's this, there's that. And I'm like, just in awe, like just shocked
I would think so.
about everything. And I'm like, there's no way. And then, so he's just telling me all these things on the phone. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I'm blind as well. And I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, your
And
whole
so
world blew up like in minutes.
yes. Oh my God, it was crazy. It was just amazing to hear that there was so much opportunity that I was
Wow.
missing out
Yeah,
on.
that's striking me. That would be like Paul on the way to Damascus, and all of a sudden this huge light, and God starts talking to him.
Yes.
But instead of God,
Yes.
it was Shawn.
Yeah, it was Shawn this time.
So then he's like, I can teach you how to like learn the computer and do keyboarding classes. And I'm like, okay, I'm interested. So I scheduled my appointment, and I guess me being Mindy, being stubborn, I didn't show up for probably about like 4 times.
She rescheduled 4 times.
But I guess there was something in my voice that Shawn liked.
Yeah, I kept calling her. And reminded her to
To show up.
reschedule.
Yeah. And so finally when I did, I was just blown away with what he would do, and just all the technology. So then that's when I started my keyboarding classes with him. So he became my instructor at that time. And yeah, so I would like little by little start noticing that I would look forward to going to my keyboarding classes. And I would look forward to like learning the computer. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together until probably like a month later, and I realized, oh, okay,
This is more than just learning the keyboard. Yeah.
Yes. 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 So yeah.
Wow.
Long story short, that's our story.
That's how we
Well,
met.
there's where we were talking about similarities between your relationship and our relationship. I met Penn because I was going to do this. It was an experiment, and I was going to do this test with high school kids.
You shouldn't start it with, it was an experiment.
Oh,
That's
no, yeah,
fine.
Penn was not an experiment. But anyway, the kids that I was supposed to photograph, they wouldn't do it unless Penn did it first, because she was the
Yes.
teacher. And I did not know this, but the last time Penn had seen herself clearly and in focus, her face was covered with the equivalent of 2nd and 3rd degree burns. And so
Yeah.
she thought she still looked that way, which is not an unusual thing for even sighted people to go through a trauma and still think it's going on. And so when I photographed her, she still had sight that if she held a photo really close to her, she could see it. And quite to the contrary, she was fashion model breathtaking. And when she saw that she was actually good looking, that was a life change.
You guys can't see, but I'm rolling my eyes.
And during that course, we started going out together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more than just
Oh,
taking my
wow.
picture.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the things, one other one is because you two were blind. So obvious, me sighted, Penn blind. It's still going on, but those first years of being together and living with a blind person, I was in shock at how blind I actually was. And both visually, because us sightlings, when we're looking for something, we don't see it until we see something that looks like what we're looking for, where a blind person approaches it totally different. And then in life, I was so blind to so many things. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what we're all really blind to is when we're in the kitchen and you run your face into one of those cabinets that's left open. That's when you know you're blind.
That's a true test.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a true test.
Yeah. All chefs go through that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Penn, tell them the one
yeah.
you did when you were baking a cake or something and your ingredients.
Oh, well,
Was that
this was
fudge?
actually, I was going through Division of Vocational Rehabilitation training, like to teach me to be a good blind person. I
Right.
guess I wasn't good enough, so I had to learn. And I was in the kitchen, and my final project, I had to bake. I had to bake a cake, and so I had all the ingredients. I had all the canisters and everything, and I put in my sugar, blah 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 blah, and then at the end, and it smelled good, like nothing seemed that it was going awry, and then of course that you give it to the teachers because they have to taste test it, and that's how you pass the class. And the first teacher that bit into it just was like, like, I was like, oh my gosh. What? And she goes, did you put salt in these cookies? And I was like, no, I did not put salt in the cookies. I did not put salt in the cookies. And my instructor goes, there is no salt in these cookies. And I was like, and she went over, and whoever filled the sugar canister filled it with salt instead of sugar. So they did pass me because they were beautiful and the texture and everything was right. But yeah. So
That'd be quite an experience.
Oh,
That'd be
it was-
quite a shock.
it was awful. It was awful. I've also put black beans in instead of chocolate chips, but that was not my fault. That was because some husband put the black beans where they weren't supposed to be and moved my chocolate chips.
Yeah, I'm.
And he'll never do that again.
But I almost broke a tooth though, because it was
Yeah.
some grain dish, and so
It was granola. I was
Oh.
making homemade granola.
Oh, right,
And so black beans do not go in granola. They do not
don't.
soften up in the oven.
Wow.
Oh, before another
Yeah.
serious thing, Mindy has a Glam cane.
I do.
What is that?
I know Moses asked me what it was, and I just laughed, and I was like, I can't wait for you to ask her this.
So I actually had been looking at them for a while, but they are a little pricey, so I just still couldn't justify
Yeah.
getting one. And so when we went to Austin for the travel convention, I kept telling Shawn, let's go look at them. Let's go look at them. Maybe I would just go ahead and purchase one. And he's like, okay, wait until it's over. Well, then, it went on and stuff. And then they were going to do the winners. And I was one of the Glam winners. I was so happy.
What's it look like?
So you have different options of colors to choose from, but I'm a girly girl, so mine is pink with rhinestones.
Oh.
So every segment is pink with rhinestones, and the middle is white with rhinestones.
That's
And
so
I love it.
That's it.
I love it. Everywhere I go, everyone's like, "Your cane is so cute."
I know. It's
I
so
love
sweet.
it.
It's so sweet.
Yes.
I think more, especially young young people, young girls
Mm-hmm.
especially, they'd be prouder of their cane if it got
Yeah.
to be a
Yes.
glam
Yeah.
cane.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Because I used to tell Shawn, like, that was my biggest
Yeah.
struggle, accepting my cane.
Yeah.
That, I mean, what woman feels attractive, pretty, sexy, walking around with this stick?
I know.
Like,
I
that's
know.
not pretty.
It is
It's not
very
pretty.
masculine,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Like even the
Yes.
colors, like I don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they weren't thinking through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was a mental battle for me going through accepting the cane. But now, you know, it's been some time I've accepted it. And now, even more with my glam cane, I'm
Yes.
like, hell yeah, give me my cane.
Anything to accessorize.
Yes.
Oh, maybe that's something you could do with the canes that you're giving away is figure out some way to make
I
them
know.
cool.
I should add those to my white cane project.
So since
Figure
guys
that
like
out.
swords and dragons and all that, you could make it look like an Excalibur.
Yeah. I can hear the O&M trainers out there cringing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, but they're not the ones that have to
I
use it
know,
daily.
right?
So,
And honestly, I don't know if the sighted world out there cares if we have a glam cane
yes.
or not.
Yes. Yes.
But
I think it attracts more attention. The now I've noticed I've attracted more attention with my glam cane because they're like, "Oh, it's so cute," or "What
an
is
icebreaker.
that?"
It's
Like,
an
what is
icebreaker.
that?
Oh,
Like just
right.
the other day, my dermatologist was like, "What is it?" I was like, "Oh, it's my mobility cane. It's just beautiful." She's like, "Well, it's definitely sparkly, and I love it."
oh, it's so. I know
That's-
they're beautiful. They are so pretty. They're
Yes.
so pretty. Well, I wanted to. So we were talking about we have things in common, and I've shared this on the podcast that I'm a recovering alcoholic, and actually Moses and I met. Right when I was going into rehab, which they tell you not to get in a relationship when you're going into rehab. But
And she shouldn't have done it.
Should have listened.
decades later, darn it, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But Shawn, I know you've been open about that you've struggled with addiction. Were you struggling before you met Mindy, and then also
Oh yeah.
you were
Oh yeah.
okay?
No, I was, and if I'll tell kind of the story here. Yeah, I was a mess. I was a mess. I was a disaster before I had a stroke. Basically, I used to drink heavily on the weekends, and I went through Alcoholics Anonymous when I think I was 30. And I was sober for about 10 years, but it wasn't real. I always say I was kind of just waiting for the next drink.
Yeah.
I don't think I took it even that serious as I do now. And it's different because I had a stroke in 2022, and I like to say it's the best thing that ever happened to me because it changed my life. It gave me focus, and it helped me to control my drinking. And I can still have an occasional drink, and I still drink occasionally,
Yeah.
but it's not the focus of my life that it once was. Where I feel like I have to have it or something like that. So it's yeah. I mean, it's been a struggle, but what life is.
Right.
Did the drinking have anything to do with the stroke, or it was just completely unrelated?
It probably caused it. I was going through a stressful situation. I was working for the state, and
That right there will do it for me.
yeah.
I only
And-
lasted 6 months working for the state.
Well, I lasted 3 years. I started
wow.
April of 2021 till March of 2024,
Wow.
and it was okay. But the problem is I was gonna have to commute 2 hours,
Oh,
one way to get to work, and that was about to change. And I was freaking out because I was really stressed about having to go to Dallas to go to work and all that, and every day.
yeah, that's a lot.
Wow.
So I woke up one day and got out of bed and basically fell down and got sick, and
Oh.
and I didn't know what it was. I went to the hospital and went through all that, and they should have done an MRI, but I think they listened to me because I thought it was food poisoning. And
Until he finally listened to the nagging
yeah,
wife.
yeah. Until 3 months later.
Boy,
Those
yeah.
nagging wives, you
Thank-
should listen to
Yes.
them every
Goodness
once in a
for
while.
nagging wives.
Yeah.
So now 4 years later, I mean, I got a great life, and it has to do with God and my love and being away from the addictions.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was,
And yeah,
Penn.
I mean, when I quit, I went to AA, because they tell you you're supposed
Yeah.
to and everything.
Right.
But, and I felt like I needed it like right there at the beginning because I didn't really know. I mean, I come from a family of alcoholics but my dad, I mean, they were proud of it. My mom even told me, your dad just decided to quit and he quit. He didn't need to go to rehab. He didn't need these meetings. And I'm like, maybe I don't know if I agree with that one. But and so in the beginning, I think I did need that. I needed that structured. I needed to be able to talk and to listen to other people. But after a while, it almost made me want to drink. And and so I went less and less. And then I got more involved with not even necessarily other types of therapy. Some of it was therapeutic, but I got into running and I got into other things. I got deeper into my faith. I got into other things that to me were just as important, if not more important, that supported my sobriety. And, knock on wood, it's worked, and it's not the traditional, go to 30 meetings in 30 days, that
Right,
kind of
right.
thing.
And one thing I can share that and I don't know what page it's on, but somewhere in the big book, that's the AA book.
Yep.
There's a line that says something like, "There will come a time where things take on new meaning," and with my stroke and everything else, it used to be an obsession. Like I would go to work and all day I'd be thinking about when can I get home and have a drink, or when can I be in an environment when I can have a drink. And now, it's just not important anymore.
Yeah. It was Penn's rehab act obviously worked, and then. As a photographer, I was always going to parties and that type of thing because of the photography. And luckily for me, alcohol was not my drug of choice. And, but it took me a year, and I started thinking, how crummy of me to come home with alcohol on my breath and kiss a woman that is desperately trying to stay sober. And so I quit. And the hardest part about it, and you guys probably get this too, is when you're at a party, a wedding, whatever, when somebody says, have a drink with us, do the toast. And I was sitting there saying, no. And that was really hard for me. And I finally came up with a line that shut everybody up. I said, when we're born, God allots the same amount of alcohol to all of us for our life. And Penn and I just went through it in about 10 years. So
Yep.
Then they leave you alone.
We crossed the line. The line. Mindy, you had a comment that you had made to our podcast producer, and it's such a beautiful comment. And I wanted to bring it up and ask you to share sort of when this occurred in your relationship. Is we loved each other, but we didn't know each other. Did that happen when Shawn was going through his stroke? And
Yes. So I want to say it was tough. It was tough because since day one of our relationship, there was alcohol involved.
Yeah.
And lots of alcohol involved.
Yeah, a lot.
And I'm an occasional drinker. To be honest, I'm probably more of like a New Year's type of drinker, and I'm done for the year. But for Shawn, like that was our thing. Is we would go look for happy hours. We would go with friends, and and go and get drunk, and that was our life for a couple of years, and like it just
About 8.
yeah, about 8 years, and we've been together for
Yeah.
10. So I just think that the sobriety brought who the true Shawn really is, because I always tell him, like, I respect you and salute you so much, because it's tough. It's tough to be sober, especially nowadays. Like, who doesn't drink? Where is there a place where there's no alcohol?
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think it's just brought the best of Shawn, like, to me. And I used to tell him, we talk about this sometimes, that I couldn't stand him. Like, I would hate him. There was times where I was like questioning our relationship, questioning why am I here? Like, what am I doing with him? But I knew that there was something in there that I would always overlook. And I guess, it was the love that we have for one another. And I just knew, like, I know he can overcome it. I know he can. Like, I had the faith in him he didn't have in himself. And I would be that nagging wife, like, again, like, you're drinking again, like, and he hated my guts. He hated, because I would always get after him about the alcohol. And these past 2 years of his sobriety, our relationship has gotten so much stronger. We've learned things about each other that I never even knew about him. And I guess the same, he's learned me as what he fell in love with, probably, since the first day. And yeah, it's made our relationship so much stronger.
That's
One
awesome.
thing I just want to add to this is, it's like when you watch TV or you watch soap operas and you see all the drama that people have in their life, and no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody in particular or anything, but I guess what we can say now is we don't have those problems.
Yeah. I know. We call it
Trauma
drama.
Yes.
And it's nice not to have those problems.
We literally, when we became aware of that, we would go out of our way. So if we were going to go do something, we'd like sit down and talk it out. Is this going to cause drama? And then people that we were, a lot of people live from trauma to trauma to trauma.
Yep.
And we started staying away from those people.
Yeah.
Sure makes a difference.
It does. And we even, like, tried to find ways to make our lives boring.
Yes. Yes.
I love that.
And luckily she was married to a really boring guy.
No.
So I
Sounds
wasn't
like
as
it.
terrible.
Yeah. But that's another one too, is when you're saying not liking each other, they should make a huge deal about that at weddings, or that there are going to be long periods you're not liking each other,
Yes.
And
Yes.
Penn and I even put together kind of a 10 Commandments, and it was basically made up of things that we were leery of, and one of those was They're
the 3 A's.
Yeah.
That are deal breakers if you can't work through them.
and the only reason to break up.
Yeah, and it's abuse, affair, and addiction. But addiction is if you can't work out of it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
if you
Right.
stay
Right.
in it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That makes sense.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And even affair, you know, there's lots and lots of couples out there that were able to work through an affair, but they worked through it together.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't, you know, so.
And that's a tough one.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm sure.
Yeah. And going along with that, like, I mean, maybe you guys experience this too, is, you know, you get one thing under control. Like, okay, we got this addiction down. Okay, we're doing all right. Life is getting boring. We love each other. We're experiencing this, you know, really getting to know each other, maybe even for the first time, like Mindy, you said, learning stuff about each other that you didn't know. But then whammo, other things happen. Like Mindy, I know you yourself have had some health issues. Did that happen after the stroke?
Yes.
Wow.
So we finally were so proud of where we were. We bought our first house.
Aw.
And it was just, I don't even know what the proper words for it are, because it was such an experience, so many ups and downs with the purchase of the home. It was not, and it's never been like actually written down on paper that there was something wrong with the home, but we believe there was mold.
Oh no.
Are we okay to say that, babe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was this gooey stuff around.
That was black.
It was black.
It wasn't even like that. It was a house that was built in the 50s. And there was probably it was a bummer because it had a pool, had a really nice backyard, but there was something wrong. And basically, Mindy came home from the doctor, and she had been struggling for a long time. We had been in and out of ERs and things like that. And
What were the symptoms?
I was having trouble breathing.
Oh.
I was wheezing. I was like constantly coughing.
like asthma.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
Mindy.
having like asthmatic flare-ups. I think what actually triggered it though was COVID.
Yeah.
So I think I let it sit there for so long. I was like having COVID symptoms and I just never took care of it. And then we ended up moving into the house. And so I think that kind of like just opened up the door to a lot of things with my health. And so finally we were like come November, from November through like March, I would probably be in and out of the ER probably about 10 times.
Wow.
Cause I was struggling to breathe. Like it was so rough.
Wow.
And, finally, about 2 years ago, I found the right doctor. And he did say that I have only 30% lung function.
Oh my goodness.
And so I am just pretty much keeping all my flare-ups with steroids that I do have to do daily. And I do feel a lot better. We did move out of the home as well. So it was probably the biggest thing that we decided. It was such a tough decision to do, but it was either that or I wouldn't be here.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that was a pretty easy decision to make.
Boy, finding the right doctor is so hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
Oh,
And-
yes.
And so there's another thing that's similar is Penn and I have been for years now, but developing more and more healthy habits, and
Yeah, we are too.
Good.
And
Yes.
and the big one for me is with regular doctors. Yes, if you are in a car accident, your hand gets cut off, there's something physically that's you've damaged. Yes, you get to a doctor, but we had not a chiropractor, an acupuncturist in the first years we were together. That guy because I could go on for hours, that guy literally, without exaggerating, could cure anything that Penn and I had, except for blindness. And he cured about 4 or 5 times. He cured the common cold. I would go in because I had to work, had a wedding coming up or whatever. And I'd go, I got this cold. I can't have this cold. And because it's killing me. I can't sleep. I can't do anything. And an hour later, there was no cold and it would not come back. But you got to find a good acupuncturist and herbalist that's using actual real herbs. And so we're looking to alternative medicine, which, am I right that, Mindy, you're going that route?
Yes. In a sense, just focusing more on like clean eating.
Yeah.
I mean, God, we eat literally trash.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And so I just started kind of learning how to focus more on just, staying away from a lot of the junk, a lot of the stuff that has so many ingredients like that we don't even know what they are.
Exactly. And you can't pronounce. It's like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So just focusing on so many things like that, even with like my cleaning products, like I found a company that is like super clean ingredients, plant-based and smells amazing.
What brand is it? Nobody's paying us. This is not a placement product or anything.
Yeah, I'll get a pen. I got a pen.
It's Mississippi Candle.
Mississippi Candle. Thank you.
Yes. And they have like all-purpose cleaners. They have wax melts. They have laundry detergents. And it's super clean ingredients. And they smell so, so good. Definitely recommend them.
I love that they smell, because a lot of the clean products, they don't have a smell. And my sense of smell is my superpower. And
me too.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I could.
So when something doesn't have a smell, even it might be clean or whatever, I don't trust it. Like
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
Well, that's awesome, Mindy. Are you thinking of this as maybe a career, like helping other people?
They sure need
find these clean products and.
Yes, I actually just created my page where I'm trying to do like the content creator route.
Awesome.
And just trying to focus on, there's just so many things that not only as a blind woman, but as a mom, as a wife, and, just myself in general, that there's so many things in this world that a lot of people are not aware of. And when you're put in situations that you just, it's out of your control, you have to kind of venture out and look for something that is going to be right for you.
Right.
So I just started my page.
And what is the page?
It's Life with Mindy.
I love it.
And I'm just trying to focus on just overall, just like healthy products, like, protein, bars that I enjoy, vitamins, like also for my hair, stuff for my hair, like intimate care and stuff like that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think it is so helpful, especially in the blind world. I don't know, I find it difficult to find products that I actually love. And I trust somebody who's blind over somebody who's sighted. I think it's great.
Yes.
I'll definitely be checking you out. And
thank you.
Shawn, we talked about this a little bit in Austin, but I use AI in my work. And actually, AI is a lot more of my life than probably what I realize. But you told me that AI really helped you in your recovery after your stroke. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because it was really fascinating.
Sure. And it's something I've kind of realized late on. So I had the stroke, and the side effects of the stroke was my left hand and my left leg were like really weak.
Mm.
I was really having a lot of balance issues, a lot of trouble walking, and using my favorite thing, which is the computer.
Yeah.
I found out when I was 10 years old that the computer was going to be an amazing part of my life. I
Yeah.
just wish I had known it. I wish I'd actually known it then.
Yeah.
It would have made a big difference.
Yeah.
I had to figure it
Yeah.
out.
I don't know if
It took
10-year-olds,
50
even if you did tell, I don't know, because when you're 10, you're like,
That's true. That's true. That's true. So my left hand was really the dexterity in it was really bad. It was really weak. I was typing. I used to type like 90 words a minute,
oh, wow.
and when I had the stroke, I was down to maybe like 10 or 20.
Mm.
And I'm using my right hand mostly. And I still remember having my right hand on the home row and then having to move it over to
Oh,
the
yeah.
DSFA side to hit a key. And I'm just like, this ain't fun.
No.
But and I'm drinking a beer at the same time. and and so I got into this AI thing. I learned about ChatGPT, and it was right up my alley because that's just kind of a nerdy thing that I would be into. And I learned how to use AI, and there's a lot that came out of that. But the important thing is that I learned how to use it to type. Um, I figured out the language of using AI, and I have these special text prompts now that I'll write my emails, I'll write my posts, whatever I'm doing, and then I'll paste it, into an AI model, and it looks like I would have, how I used to write.
Right.
My original writing would look, and it's just it's all just AI doing that.
And you talk a lot about this on your podcast, right? Like you share a lot of
I do.
these ups and downs.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a little podcast called Feeling a Bit Keen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great
And
name.
I know.
and that's right with and I have an AI. I have a Facebook group called AI for the Blind Club, and they're both kind of connected. I'm just a nut. I'm just a nut when it comes to this artificial intelligence thing, and I love it. It's the most fun thing I do. So I just show people it.
That's awesome. We run into people, especially seniors like that are older. Even some of our volunteer readers at Aftersight, if you say the word AI, they're like,
Oh, I'm sure.
oh no, they're going to read my mind and take over my life. And it's like, no,
No.
no, that's not what, I mean, I do a ton of writing in my job and even a lot of public speaking, like even this, I had to do this presentation yesterday on a topic I don't know a lot about, but they've been bugging me for 5 years to talk at this conference. And so on a weak moment, I agreed to it this year. And it was in front of emergency managers, emergency response teams and things like
Right.
that, which is not in my wheelhouse at
Yeah.
all. But they wanted me to talk about how in emergency preparedness and responses, how it affects people with disabilities differently. Like we have more levels that we may need to jump through or
Right.
think about ahead of time, and how do we work together. And I approached it very differently, but it's like I knew what I wanted to say, but I couldn't figure out how to say it without feeling like I was just yelling at them. And so I dumped it into, ChatGPT, and, I said, make me sound friendly, and so it was my speech, right? It's my speech. It was my voice. I don't feel like I cheated,
No, you didn't.
To me, it's just like the old fashioned way where you would hand it off to an editor, right? And
Right.
that's what I use ChatGPT for a lot. Or if somebody says, oh, I need an email written to 1,000 people and it needs to include blah, 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 blah. And you have 5
Right.
minutes to do it, and you have to do it in, 50 words or less. That's when it's like, I know what I want to say. It's just but it would take me an hour to come up with a really good version of it, where if I can just get the basics in ChatGPT, and it's so and it is the future. I feel like ChatGPT is when the internet started, and a lot of people, oh, it's a fad. Like these youngsters, they'll lose, they'll lose interest in it. They'll get bored with it. And that's what I kind of feel like with AI right now. People are saying, oh, it's just a fad. It is. And to me, it's been around a long time. So, and Mindy, I'm sure you use it in your life as well.
Yes.
Because you can even use, AI to find products out there, compare products, and so I think I think I'm just making a prediction, but I think it's here to stay.
Yes.
And, one thing people don't realize or think about is that, the AI right now is like basically version 4, maybe version 5, and just wait till we're at version 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a big difference.
That would be amazing.
No, it's
amazing.
It's me being an old guy and old school. I hate technology, but and the computer literally put me and a lot of other good photographers out of business for a whole bunch of reasons. But I've kind of thought about it. Is when I went into photography, it was still black and white. Color came in after I'd been doing it a while, but anyway, it was with the black and white and that, and then it switched to color. And being a photographer was really, really, really difficult. And so once the computer came out in Photoshop and Lightroom and all that kind of stuff, and the cell phone, of course, it was not good for me, but it allowed everybody to do what really good photographers could do. And so it took it to the masses. And so I think AI, I'd have to go along with that, is that it's going to make a positive difference because everybody will have it and be able to do things that only specialists could do.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
there was one other aspect, but take it. I'll come back once it comes back into my brain.
It levels the playing.
Yeah, Shawn, that's what I was going to say. And it also, to me, it levels it with people with disabilities, with people who don't have disabilities.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody's equal.
Exactly.
And it's so funny because like Shawn has his GPT subscription, and I go in there and sometimes randomly go and ask a question, but I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it because it has Shawn's personality.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. She needs her own.
I have to fight with it, and I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to my own.
I'm going to go back to the one that knows me.
Yes. I'm not trying to sound like a 50-year-old man. No, thank you. So I enjoy how much it's just like you make it what you want it to be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's so interesting.
Yeah. I think, and I agree with that. I think you get out of it what you put into it, right? And,
yes.
And that's how it gets to know you. And Shawn, can anybody join your Facebook group, or is it a closed group and you need to be invited? How does that work?
It's a private group, but anybody can find it. You just search for AI for the Blind Club on Facebook, and I started it in 2023 as just a place that I could post all the silly AI stuff I was making, and it maybe had like 3 people in there back then, and now it's got over 15,600 people in there.
Wow, that's great.
It was not planned at all.
Well, if you planned it, it wouldn't have happened. Probably.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, it's really opened some doors for us, and I think it's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, now we're trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah. Monetize it. Need to monetize it if you
Yeah,
haven't already.
we're doing that.
Good,
Yeah,
good,
we are.
good. Well, Mindy and Shawn, you guys, I mean, it seems like what you guys approach life as a team is that's what I'm feeling with the two
Yes.
of you, especially over these last few years. You kind of went to hell and back, and now you kind of found the rhythm with each other. And what is some advice that you could give the audience out there? And we have people all over the world listening in, and some of them are in relationships, some of them may want to be in a relationship, maybe some want to be out of a relationship. But you guys have really been through a lot, and I hope you know how much we appreciate the work that you guys, you didn't give up on each other. And even when maybe the world told you should have, because I know Moses and I've been there.
Yeah.
And Moses and I do understand that it does take a lot of work, but for Moses and I, it just gets better and better.
Boy, does it.
And I have to, on the radio this morning, I heard this couple, and one is like 103 and the other one's I think 99 or 100. They're the world's oldest couple.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been married since 1941, and
Wow.
and they kind of said, what's your secret sauce? And she said, you have to like your partner, not just love them. And sometimes liking them is more important than loving them. And that really hit home because Moses is my best friend, and
Yes.
we talk about that a lot, that we actually do like each other.
Yeah.
And so,
because
not, 100% of the time, but most of the time. But what have you
today?
But what have you found what is your secret sauce?
When you asked that, I was like, my eyes kind of got big, and I was like, oh gosh, how do you answer this? But you actually said it right in there, and not just liking your partner but you need to like yourself and learn how to like yourself, and like I didn't, I never did until I had a stroke and started changing my life around it. I love myself now. I have the most fun, and I love my partner, my wife, and we, we're a team now. We weren't always,
Yes.
but we're a team now.
yeah.
I do want to add also patience. Patience, because if you don't have it, it causes a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And I always tell Shawn, and I'm a firm believer of, you don't have to disrespect me or call me out of my name to get your point across. We don't have to agree on what the message is trying to be delivered, but you still have to respect me because, I've been by your side, but you decided to be here. We both decided to be here.
Yeah.
And I just think I deserve that respect, and so does he. And, no, you're never going to have the same opinions about so many things because you're your own person, and you shouldn't have to feel like you have to only like what that person likes or do what they, be yourself, but don't be afraid to express yourself as well.
Yeah.
So what would be one word that you would describe Shawn, Mindy?
Ooh.
and please do not ask Penn that question.
It's coming.
That's easy. That's an easy answer.
Ooh. Can you answer first?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shawn, what would be your one word you would describe Mindy?
Sparkly.
That's great.
Moses, you're next.
I'm trying to think one word because well, when I'm talking about it, I'll tell people, well, as a husband and wife, she's like a wife and I'm like a husband. But then what's bizarre, we go outside the house and go someplace and she becomes the blind chick. And so that could be my one word, because she lives 24/7 to help people. And that's not just making that up, and so that would be, or when I'm joking with the guys, I'll say, I'm not kidding you, she's like Mother Teresa. But Mother
That's
Teresa,
more than one word.
yeah,
You've maxed out your
but Mother Teresa can be pretty hard to live with at times.
Right?
I think for Shawn, I would say humbling.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Wow.
That's beautiful. For Moses, I would say strength.
Oh.
Aw.
Yeah, that's me.
My
At least she didn't say you were hungry.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, guys, this was so much fun. I can't wait to, see where you guys are in a couple of years, and hopefully we'll see each other again at the next travel
I hope
summit.
so.
That would be
Yes.
amazing. Absolutely amazing. So is there
Yes, it would.
anything you guys want to say that we didn't cover?
Not this time. I think we're good.
Mindy?
I appreciate you having us. This was
Yes.
fun.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think we covered a little bit of some raw, some raw stuff.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. This is great. We'll have more couples now, because I was always a little nervous about having couples on. But you guys raised the bar, and we're fantastic.
Aw, thank you.
We love your story, and you guys should think about putting that down on paper. Write a book. Because it's a
We've never thought about that.
beautiful story.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story. So
Thank you.
absolutely. Everybody out there, thank you too for dropping in week after week to the Blind Chick. Absolutely thank everybody at Aftersight. There's no way we could do this podcast without all of you. You guys do the hard work, Moses and I get to do the fun part. So, and we appreciate it. And everybody out there, if you have a topic, you have a question for us, and email us at feedback@aftersight.org. And remember to be kind to yourselves this week and be kind to somebody else. It's good for your soul.